So hi there and welcome to this week's video. My name is Charlie and today I'm going to be building this rather cool looking Space Invaders game. It's pretty similar to the kit that I built a couple of weeks ago, the Pac-Man game. So if you enjoyed that video, I'm pretty sure you will enjoy this one. And if you haven't seen it yet, I'll pop a link up in the corner somewhere up there. But anyway, let's not talk too much. I think we should just take a little look at what's in the kit. And then once we've done that, we'll jump straight into the build. So in the kit, we have a circuit board, a selection of resistors, capacitors and a voltage regulator. There's the processor or microcontroller itself. We've got a speaker, some buttons, the screen and the battery pack. So there we go, there's everything that's included in the box. So I think it's time just to end this here and jump straight into the build. So I'll see you in a second. So here's our rather cool looking Space Invaders circuit board. The first thing I'm going to do is pop in some resistors. So R1 here, this is the brown, black, brown and gold resistor. So just going to bend the legs now. It doesn't really matter which way this goes in. Then we can just sort of slot it into the holes there. Now let's just bend the legs. This just helps hold it in place while I do the soldering. Now we'll just do the same on the other resistor and we'll slide that one into R2. This is the brown, black, orange and gold one. Now we can add the flux. Once that's done, we can come in with a soldering iron. I've pre-tinned it already and I'm just going to draw the solder in. If it doesn't go right first time, don't worry too much. You can always come back in with your soldering iron and just reflow it. There we go. Now we can just trim the legs off. So I'm just going to bend these up. And then I can come in with some flush cutters and just trim them off. There we go. Gives us a nice tidy finish. Let's give it a quick clean with some alcohol. And then we can just tidy it up with a microfiber cloth. Now we can start fitting the capacitors. This is the 100 microfarad capacitor and the stripe should align with the negative that's printed on the circuit board. So we're just going to slide that in there. The negative's also got the slightly shorter leg. And as before, we're just going to bend the legs over. And then we come in with the soldering iron. Let's trim those off. Snippety snip. There we go. Just tidy that up a bit. And now we can put in the next capacitor, which is a 10 microfarad capacitor. And again, you want to align the stripe and the short leg with the negative side. Now let's solder these in place. I've already fluxed this one up. Oops. There we go. Don't seem to be doing the best job of soldering today, but that's just how it goes sometimes. And again, snip, snip, and away the legs go. Let's just clean this up a bit, get rid of that flux. Now we can fit the next capacitor, which again is a 10 microfarad capacitor, and it's sort of a browny yellowy sort of colour. Let's just get this soldered in place. Flux, then solder. There we go, a bit too much solder there, I think. We want a hill, not a mountain. But never mind, the joint seems solid. It's not a cold joint, which is good, so let's just go with that. Now we can fit the ceramic capacitors into C4 and C5. These are the brown ones and they've got 104 printed on them. So we're just going to slide these in. I don't think it matters which way round these ones go. And we're going to repeat the process. So I'll see you again in a mo. Now all that's done, we can fit the microcontroller. So you see this little notch here, we want to line that up with the notch at IC1. So let's slide this in place and flip it over. Just help hold this in place. What I did was actually bend over a couple of the legs in the corners. And once that was done, I just went through and soldered it. So I'm just going to leave you with this just to chill out for a minute. Oops, bridged these there. Bridge these ones as well. We'll fix those in a minute though, so don't worry too much. Making a right hash of this, but the good thing with solder is you can reflow it quite easily. So let's just do that now. I'm just going to take the soldering iron in and sort of wick some of the solder away. There we go. Now we've cleaned up this one here as well. Let's just take that to clean the soldering iron. And there we go. Now we can slot the microcontroller in place. Again, you want to line up the notch with the little notch on the microcontroller. And now I'm going to fit the voltage regulator. So I'm just using some tweezers to hold this, to bend it nice and cleanly. And then I can just slot that into place. So let's flip the board. And we can repeat the soldering process. I'm just going to bend those slightly before I do it, just to help hold it in place. And then flux and solder. See you again in a mo. Now we've done that, we can fit the speaker in place. So there we go, just flip it over, solder it in place, bosh, bosh, done. Clean it all up. Let's check it out so far. Yeah, all looking pretty nice if I do say so myself. Now we can just slot the buttons into place. Clickety clack. So these fit into S1, S2 and S3. And once that's done, let's just go round with a soldering iron. As you can see, I've already pre-fluxed this up. Clean all that flux away. And looking pretty nice. Let's move that to one side for a minute, and we can just take a little look at the battery box. Unlike last time, I'm going to remember to put on the sticky pads, so let's just do that now. Now we can put the battery box into place. Just try and line it up nice and square, because once it's stuck down it's not going to be very easy to move. There we go. Now we can solder these joints into place. So you have to flip the board over to solder these ones in place. So the battery box is soldered in from the front, so let's just add a bit of flux and solder it in place. We want to make sure there's not too much solder here, because this is obviously sitting behind the screen. So let's try and be a little bit more careful with how much solder we add. That's not too bad. Once that's done, we can test this out. So we'll pop the batteries in, and if we get a beep beep, it's all working. Nice, we got the beep beep. Everything's good. So we can carry on confident that everything's going to work as expected. So let's just clean this up before we continue. Just get rid of the flux. And then we can slot the screen into place. This screen's quite a lot smaller than the one on the Pac-Man kit, which is a bit of a shame. You're going to need some pretty good eyes to see the screen, but the process is going to be pretty similar. We slot it in, although there's no spacers on this one, but we've got it lined up. The pins are going through. And so I think now let's turn it over and solder it into place. Oops, nearly bridged that one. I think I got away with it. Clean it up. Yeah, it's all looking pretty good to me. So I think now we can pop some batteries back in and check out if it's all working as we want. And we have Space Invaders. This is looking pretty cool actually. Let's just take off the screen protector. And that's a pretty nice vibrant screen, even if it is a bit on the small side. Nice, well, I think we're done. So there we have it. I finished making this Space Invaders game, and it was a lot of fun to make. It was very similar to the Pac-Man game that we did a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't mind that, and let's face it, I did need the soldering practice. I made a couple of mistakes along the way, but to be fair, they were quite easy to resolve, such as the bridging of the pins, and it all worked first time, so I was really pleased with that as a result. This kit was from Etsy. It's by a company called Madlabs, I think. I'll stick a link down in the description, so feel free to check it out if this sort of thing takes your interest. But anyway, I think that's enough from me today. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, giving it the thumbs up, and hopefully I'll see you next time. So this is Charlie, signing out.